don't try to do anything silly. Otherwise, I will destroy you, your life. Who's your uncle? Is that what your mother told you? Open your mouth! Ah!
So far so good. Tunakushukuru sana ewe mpenzi wa kipindi cha Bridge Over Congo na KBC Channel 1 kwa ujumla. Kwa ewe mpenzi wa rumba, mpenzi wa muziki ya Afrika, kipindi kipendacho cha Bridge Over Congo kitakuwa kinakuja kila siku ya Jumamosi kuanzia saa 11:30 ya jioni hadi saa 12:30 ya jioni majira ya Afrika Mashariki. Nzokole mpaka nino na eti, yani dovu hachoshwi kamwe na pembe zake. Make a date this Saturday, utanipata mimi le grand polygamista Simeon Mfumu Kimbangu na Winnie Marie Jose, ambapo toko tunafanya fimbo chapa.
Kupata lazima nishike. Kama sikiza tune yako, bonyeza *811 962 hash.
Lazima nishike mapema. Nisiposhika hii simu mapema utakasirika. Unajua mimi nikiwa mtu ya marathon najua niko na experience kabisa. Niko na experience. If you don't hurry, you will not break the record. Okay, wacha nishike hii simu.
Kupata lazima nishike, bonyeza *811 962 hash. *811 962 hash.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. This is Lunchtime News and we have so much in store for you. My name is Jacky Wambiru and we shall be taking a look at matters politics, matters education, matters health, among others. For now, let's kick off the bulletin with the story by Yusufara, where the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is cautioning aspirants who flout the elections code of conduct during the electioneering period that stern action will be taken against them. Consequences and ABC officials in Embu County sounded the warning, citing Madaraka Day celebrations in the county, which turned chaotic as supporters of various aspirants tried to outsmart each other in a war of words.
As the verification exercise for political aspirant credential gains momentum, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission officials in Embu County says those found culpable of flouting the elections code of conduct will be dealt with accordingly.
Lazima wazigatie zile sheria za Electoral Code of Conduct, wadumishe, na sana sana wakati huu wa campaign ni lazima amani idumishwe.
Tuwe na siasa za amani, tuwe na siasa za zisipokuwa na fujo, na pia mtu auze sera zake.
This even as aspirants in Nakuru County pledged to follow the set guidelines by IEBC and campaign peacefully in a bid to garner votes for the different posts they are vying for.
Siasa zitakuja na zitaenda, na sisi tutabaki tuendelee kufanya biashara zetu zile za kawaida, tuendelee kuombana kama ni chumvi tukiwa kina mama na jirani yetu. Ebu jirani yako asigeuke kuwa adui wakati kampeni zitakuja.
Meanwhile, Meru County woman representative aspirant Edith Merigi has called for fairer terms for independent candidates seeking verification to vie for various elective posts in the August 9th polls.
And I would urge our government to make it easier for aspirants in future, those who don't manage to get into political parties, because this is draining to independent candidates.
In Mandera County, women aspirants want the IEBC to take action on their male counterparts who are spreading hate and threats on social media in a bid to intimidate them out of the race.
Wao wenyewe ndo wenye kuambia vijana wadogo kuwapatia chai ama kitu yoyote ili mama adhulumiwe. Nataka kusema vile mwanaume akona haki, ndo mwanamke akona haki zaidi.
And 3 women aspirants, Gladys Chania, Lena Koinange and Lois Kim, have been cleared by IEBC to contest for the Kiambu Women Representative seat.
Tuteremke kwa ground, kila mtu neither independent ama uka kwa chama, tuende tutafute kura kwa Wanjiku. Hakuna tofauti yoyote.
I'm stepping out of this office knowing that I'm coming to serve.
I would wish everybody to adhere to the declarations that we have made on peaceful campaigns and obeying our timetable schedules as our campaigns are concerned.
Isafar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Still in the political arena, a section of aspirants from Nakuru County have committed to promote peace in their campaigns ahead of the general election. Speaking during a peace meeting, the political class committed to a peaceful campaigning process vowed to observe electoral laws and guidelines. Meanwhile, legislators allied to the Kenya Kwanza from West Pokot region now want the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to look into concerns raised by the party leader over missing names from the voter register.
The leaders who spoke after a peace meeting organized by Midrift Human Rights Network pledged to spread message of peace and harmony in the cosmopolitan area.
Wakati kunatokea ile violence, watu wanakuwa walemavu sana. Wengine wanapoteza miguu, wengine wanapoteza macho na viungo vingine zote za mwili. So ningeomba wakati huu tutumishe amani, tupige kura kwa amani.
Serikali iwe macho sana kwa yule yeyote ambaye atakuwa anaongea vibaya ama anakuwa na hate speech katika mikutano zake za campaign, achukuliwe hatua mara moja.
Tumehakikisha ya kwamba tumeandaa ile tunasema ni community dialogue, peace dialogue meetings. Kuhakikisha ya kwamba wananchi wanaelewa umuhimu wa amani hata wakati ambapo tunaingia kwa mambo ya uchaguzi.
Meanwhile, calls have been made by a section of leaders from West Pokot to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC to address concerns over voter register irregularities before the August polls.
Niombe wale wote ambao wanaomba viti wasichochee wananchi kupigana, hasa wale ambao wako katika mipaka katikati yetu, mipaka yetu na Marakwet, mipaka yetu na Turkana, mipaka yetu na Karamojo. Tusitumie nafasi hii kwa sababu tunaomba kura kuchochea wananchi wapigane katika mipaka hizo.
Kama mtu ambaye anawakilisha wamama na watoto na vijana na walemavu, sisi tunaamini ya kwamba nchi ikikosa amani ni wamama wanaumia, ni watoto wanaumia.
Elsewhere, Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi has promised to mentor upcoming leaders in the area if elected in the office for the second term. Kiraitu, who spoke during the launch of his manifesto, urged residents to vote for him in the August polls, saying he has the county's interest at heart.
I'm aware, as I address you today, to ask you for your votes. I'm also aware of the difficult times that we are facing in this country as Kenya, and specifically as the people of Meru. And we are humbly requesting the people of Meru to vote for the same team again, so that we not only make Meru great, but we make Meru greater.
Zainab Said, Lunchtime News.
In other news, a row is brewing between residents of Muyowakai village in Magarini Sub-County, Kilifi County, and a salt farm in the area over a grazing area in the locality. The residents, who mainly depend on farming and livestock keeping, claim the salt mining company evicted them from their land to expand their dikes and now do not want them to graze their animals in the only remaining area.
According to residents of Muyowakai village in Magarini Sub-County, after eviction by the salt mining firm, they moved to an area where they are only able to live and plant crops but do not have any other place for grazing their animals.
Huku ni mashambani, mifugo tuko nayo. Yule mwekezaji kwa wakati huu hataki hata mifugo yetu ingie kwa shamba lake. Tu watu ambao sisi tunahangaika usiku kucha kwa ajili ya yule mwekezaji ambaye amepanda miti yake kule, na tukiweka mifugo yetu kule zinaumizwa.
They further accused security guards at the company of allegedly moving their livestock away to Marereni area.
Sawa, mifugo kama umeshika peleka polisi ama peleke kule station nyingi kambini, lakini sivyo wanavyofanya. Wakichukua hii mifugo hapa wanaipeleka Marereni tena kwa kupigwa.
Malindi Rights Forum, a local human rights organization based in the sub-county, says the investigations reveal an injustice has been committed against the residents.
Kampuni ikiweza kuendelea kufanya kazi yake katika the environmental management plan, ilisema kama kampuni itaweza kufanya uwekezaji, jamii itafutiwe mahali mbadala pa kupeana uwezo wa kwamba mifugo yao waweze kupata nyasi.
Tunaomba tafadhali, kama inawezekana, kama kuna msaada wowote, kama kuna viongozi wanaweza kuja karibu, wakae na sisi tuone kwamba tunaweka hili suluhisho kisahihi.
Aggrieved residents are now calling upon the government to intervene in the matter. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Employees at an export company in Athi River, Machakos County have staged a protest lamenting their sacking. 1,200 workers claim they were kicked out of their workplace by police after failing to agree with their employer on the implementation of a collective bargaining agreement last month.
Agitated workers held a peaceful protest at the company, accusing their employer of denying them access to workers' union, unlawful dismissal, and even sexual harassment at workplace.
Tunafanya kazi 8 hours, yeah, na tunafanya overtime, but overtime hailipi yote. Utatoka saa 3 ya usiku unafanya overtime only 1 hour. That 50 shillings peke yake, 1 hour peke yake. Wakubwa wanatumia language yenye haifai. Wanatuongelesha vibaya, ukifanya hivi wanakuambia kwa nini unafanya hivi, kwa nini unaharibu material na si kuharibu inhali unaitengeneza. Aya, anafukuza watu kiolela pia. Anawaambia yani leo ukiingia anakufukuza kazi, kesho yake tena anaandika mwingine.
Through the Kenya Plantation and Agricultural Workers Union, the employees accused the employer of defying a directive from the Ministry of Labour to sign a return to work formula.
Hawa wafanyikazi wote wameingia kwa chama, 100% are members of our union. Employer aliamua kutumia polisi kufunga hii gate nisipate access ya kuongelesha hawa wafanyikazi na kutatua ile shida yenye wako nayo. Serikali inapopatia wale foreign workers VAT, it has to vet some of these employees. Kwa sababu what we have in this farm is a tyrant in the name of managing director.
Workers claim police officers were used to silencing them, and efforts to contact the management have been futile. Meanwhile, workers from Naivasha Flower Plantation who have been fleeing to rural areas in fear of their lives in the past years during electioneering period have been assured peaceful elections in the forthcoming general election that will be held on 9th August.
Mahali popote tulipo tuchague kiongozi tunayempenda, kiongozi ambaye tunaweza kumwaminia na uongozi kwa muhula huu ama muhula mwingine. Lakini pamoja na hayo tofautiane tu kisera, lakini watu wasifike kiwango cha kupigana na kumwaka damu.
Tumepeana schedules za vile tutafanya campaigns. Wacha tufanye uchaguzi tukijua baada ya uchaguzi bado maisha itaendelea maela, na sisi bado ni majirani na tunahitaji kila mmoja wetu anahitaji mwingine.
Elvis Otieno for Lunchtime News.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has reiterated that the competence-based curriculum is here to stay. Professor Magoha, who was in Kisumu inspecting private schools' preparedness in absorbing public students in junior high school section, urged the political class to stop politicization of the implementation of the new curriculum. He said constant politicking had only worked to scare parents and other stakeholders in the sector.
Education CS Professor George Magoha says plans to ensure seamless transition of students into junior high were complete in both public and private schools.
But I would like to reiterate the fact that CBC is not going anywhere. And you can see how much money the government has placed in the CBC. Our beloved children who are in grade 6, their examination is ready. And the small matter of how they are going to transit to that secondary is being worked on, and sooner rather than later, definitely before we leave office, we shall leave a clear pathway as to how the children are going to go to the schools.
Professor Magoha, who was in Kisumu County to inspect private schools' preparedness to take up the new students, said the ministry had already successfully completed the first phase of the infrastructure needed to absorb the maiden junior school cohorts, and that will soon roll out the second phase that will see 10,000 classes built cumulatively.
Built these classrooms that we are building at 708,000. And here I don't know whether to accuse the media or not. Because the media, if they were built at 2 million, they would have been making noise. Now that they are building at an economic and they are good classrooms, are you not going to even one day give us a positive rating? So we decided that we must.
The CS said additional 5,000 classes will be built by the private schools in an arrangement that will see students join private schools.
I would like to assure the private schools association that the government is ready and willing to work with them. And that when His Excellency the President has pronounced himself as the head of state and commander-in-chief of the defense forces, and we have agreed to work for him. Some of us are not politicians, we are just professional workers. So we are going to work and we are going to work.
Magoha maintaining that CBC is here to stay and urged the political class to stop cheap politics on the same.
He is here to stay for the time being. If in future you want to change it, you must give us a credible alternative and how it is going to be managed. So let not talk cheap and toxic politics. It is confusing our children and even confusing some parents.
Achola Simon, Lunchtime News.
And now we cross over to the Bomas of Kenya, and this is after Deputy President William Ruto was cleared to contest for the presidential seat in the August 9 polls by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Now, Ruto was presented with a certificate, with a clearance certificate and a sample ballot paper at the Bomas of Kenya in Nairobi by the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, who is currently speaking. Let's listen in.
Prescriptions relevant and in addition applicable judicial determinations and resolved as follows. Cases of aspirants under investigation. The Commissioner received a report of 11 cases under investigation. These include 1 presidential aspirant and 10 gubernatorial aspirants. The Commission appreciated the constitutional principle of presumption of innocence until the contrary is proved by a court of competent jurisdiction. This principle is spelled out in Article 50, Sub-Article 2A of the Constitution. The Commission is required by Article 249 of the Constitution to promote constitutionalism. In the circumstances, to disqualify persons under investigations is to affront the Constitution. So persons mentioned in the report as undergoing investigations are not disqualified by law and may contest as candidates. The other category of cases are cases under prosecution. The Commission received a report of 55 aspirants who are undergoing active prosecution in court. These are 1 presidential candidate aspirant, 12 gubernatorial, 5 senatorial, 1 countwoman member of the National Assembly, 12 members of National Assembly, and 24 members of County Assembly. Again, in keeping with the constitutional principle of innocence until the contrary is proved, the Commission advises that persons facing active prosecution in court are not disqualified by law and may contest in elections as candidates. We had a category of cases of convicted aspirants without appeals. The Commission received 1 case of a convicted gubernatorial candidate, 2 cases of members of National Assembly, and 1 case of a member of County Assembly. The Commission was guided by the provisions of Article 99(2)(g) of the Constitution and Article 193 2F of the Constitution, which provides that a person is disqualified from being elected a member of Parliament or a member of County Assembly, and this applies to governors as well, respectively, if he is subject to a sentence of imprisonment of at least 6 months as at the date of registration as a candidate or at the date of election. It's important to state that this is not tried that any conviction without an appeal presents a ground for disqualification. The sentence of imprisonment must be one that is alive at the time of registration of the candidate or at the date of election. The Commission's position is that if the convicted persons in the report have not pursued an appeal or unsuccessfully exhausted their appeals, they stand disqualified as candidates. Then we have a category of cases of convicted persons pursuing appeals. The Commission received a report of one aspirant who has been convicted by the court but has since appealed the decision of the High Court, the decision in the High Court. The Commission reckoned that such an aspirant is protected by the provisions of Article 99.3 and Article 193.3 of the Constitution, which stipulates that a person is not disqualified unless all possibility of appeals and review of the relevant sentence or decision have been exhausted. Then another category in the report is acquitted persons. The Commission received a report of 6 gubernatorial aspirants and a woman representative to the National Assembly who are prosecuted but have since been acquitted by the courts. It is tried law that persons who have been tried in court but acquitted are innocent and cannot therefore be barred from contesting as candidates in an election. The 6 aspirants are therefore qualified under this field to contest as candidates. There's also a category of educational requirements, more specifically degree qualifications. The Commission received a report on 2 gubernatorial aspirants who lacked genuine degrees. Section 22(2) of the Elections Act requires that persons seeking election as president, deputy president, governor, and deputy governor must possess a degree from a university recognized in Kenya. The Commission wishes to state that one of the aspirants who is seeking to be a governor was disqualified by the Commission in 2017 general election following the holding of the court in Nyeri constitutional election petition number 1 of 2013 and in civil appeal number 29 of 2013, which declared that he had held an invalid degree certificate. The position of the Commission, and indeed the law, remains that the aspirant is disqualified unless he submits a valid degree from a recognized university in Kenya. The Commission wishes to inform aspirants with degrees from universities within Kenya that aside from the original degree certificate, they must obtain a copy of the certificate certified by the issuing university, confirming it as a true copy of the original. For degree certificates from universities outside Kenya, those are foreign degrees, an aspirant is required to obtain a letter of recognition and equation from the Commission for University Education. Another category in the report are aspirants impeached and removed from public office for abuse of office. Under this category, the Commission received a report on 2 aspirants for the position of governor and 1 aspirant for the position of senator who have been impeached. The Commission's position is that the stipulation of Article 75 of the Constitution was never intended for ornamental purposes, but as an effective clause that requires holders of public office to conduct themselves with decorum and in a manner that brings honor to the office. In terms of the provisions of Article 75(3) of the Constitution, a person is dismissed or otherwise removed from office for contravention of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. A person who is removed from office on contravention of Chapter 6 of the Constitution is disqualified from holding any other state or public office, whether effective or elective or appointed. The Commission's position is that Article 75 of the Constitution is self-speaking and self-executing and does not have a proviso or a saving clause. Therefore, the 3 aspirants who have been removed from public office through impeachment are disqualified from contesting in the elections. In addition, a gubernatorial aspirant seeking election in Mombasa County was disqualified by the Commission from contesting as a candidate in the 2017 election. The reason for disqualification was and remains that he was removed from public office for abuse of office. He was convicted by the court on 15 December 2011 and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. He therefore stands disqualified. Public officers who did not resign by 9th February 2022. The Commission received a report on 166 aspirants who, while serving as public officers, did not resign from public office latest by 9th February 2022. The Commission appreciates that Section 43(5) of the Elections Act requires a public officer who intends to contest an election to resign from public office at least 6 months before the date of the election. By Gazette Notice dated 20th January 2022, the Commission published this requirement and subsequently through several presses reminded public officers keen on contesting elections to adhere to the dictate of Section 43(5) of the Elections Act. This instruction was given to all the returning officers to ensure that aspirants who are public officers must produce letters of resignation before being cleared. It is the responsibility of the returning officer to consider the material evidence placed before them by aspirants and make a determination. At the close of the exercise of registering candidates, the Commission will issue a comprehensive statement on persons disqualified under this category. However, this requirement does not apply to elected state officers currently serving as they are protected by Section 43(6) of the Elections Act. All elected state officers need not resign because they have a protection under Section 43(6) of the Elections Act. In the circumstances, the Commission wishes to advise that flocking out of an aspirant who is serving as a deputy governor as in being in breach of 43(5) of the Elections Act is in error, and such a candidate is qualified to contest in the elections. The Commission directs that an aspirant who previously held office or served as a public officer but did not resign by 9 February 2022 is disqualified from contesting as a candidate in the election. So that is the summary of the Commission's analysis of the report, which is the summary of the report is as follows. Under investigations, there was 1 presidential candidate, 10 gubernatorial candidates. Under prosecution, 1 presidential, 12 gubernatorial candidates, 5 Senate candidates, 1 member of Women Rep, and 12 MNS, and 24 MCS. So the report is here. We shall share with you. The other thing we want to say is that in terms of the disqualifications then, as at 4th of June, that's today, the following have been disqualified from contesting in the upcoming elections. Under the head of impeached, removed from public office for breach of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Under presidential nil, the governor, we have Mike Mbuvi Songo and Chitavi Anthony Mukala, both contesting in Mombasa. Under Senate, we have Paul Karungo Thangwa, Kiambu. And under the item of academic requirements, invalid decrees, we have Thua Mathenge Nyeri, Kamais Jeremiah Loromukai, Turkana. And under convictions of crimes, economic crimes offense, but not pursuing appeal and barred from holding public office, we have an MCA aspirant by the name of David Njiri Mberia of Karen Ward. We also reiterate that public officers who did not resign by 9th of February this year, this will be managed by the returning officers, and the report will be given at the close of registration of candidates. A copy of our analysis, detailed analysis, will be availed to you by the team, and a copy of this press will also be given to you. Thank you very much. Kama kuna maswali, tuendelee na kazi ingine. Yes.
Naitwa Omara kutoka West TV. Swali langu ni kuhusu yale malalamishi ambayo tumeona naibu wa rais Dr. William Ruto na mrengo wake wakilalamika kwamba kuna kura zaidi ya 800,000 kuelekea 1,000,000 kutoka ngome zao zimeweza kupotea kwa register. Labda utuelezee kuhusu madai hayo.
Let me say that those allegations are not true. The register of voters is intact. We have a register of slightly over 22.5 million, which we are finalizing on the issues of the audit of the register. A report of the audit by KPMG will be issued in the course of next week, and the register will be gazetted by the 9th of June, which will be broken down in county, constituency, and ward. So Kenyans need to know that the register is there, it's intact, and there's no, that those allegations are not true. Yes.
My name is Sarah from the South African Broadcasting Corporation. Chief Justice and I think also Azimio have asked that the Electoral Commission proves that indeed the problems that the Supreme Court pointed out during the last election, that you have fixed them. Are you ready to prove that now the election will be free and fair, and that you have fixed the illegalities and the irregularities that were pointed out by the Supreme Court in 2017?
Thank you. In your view, which is the right forum to prove? I have not received any communication from Asimia and the Chief Justice and asking for that information. As other agencies and other agents of government, we expect that if the Chief Justice wants information, she can write to us or invite us in a forum where she was making those comments, then we can respond appropriately. And Asimia also are our stakeholders. They are free to engage us. We operate an open door policy, and they are free to come and we discuss all this and take them through what we have done since 2017 up to now. The Commission has been in operation. It's been focused on preparing for the upcoming elections. In fact, when we talk about the judgment of Supreme Court, the first judgment, what we forget as Kenyans is that there was a fresh presidential election and there was a second judgment of the same Supreme Court. In the fresh presidential election, the Commission addressed all the issues that were there raised by the Supreme Court in the first judgment. So first, I think we need, those of us who have not read, we need to read the second Supreme Court judgment, and we need to remember what we did in the fresh presidential election. As a Commission, we didn't stop there. We went on to prepare for this election. We have all our training manuals. We have all the preparations we have done are in line with the Supreme Court one judgment. And so I would encourage the judiciary, please invite us in your forums, and then we can answer those questions instead of now engaging us through the media, because we're all working for the same Kenyan people. And so that's my request. The Chief Justice, she can call us, call me, write to us, invite us to the forums, and she has done that in other forums where we had a forum in Naivasha where I was invited by the Chief Justice, and I took them through the election preparations, including issues on technology. So, in my view, I think the commission where we sit, we are where we are supposed to be, and we shall keep on engaging other institutions and stakeholders. Thank you. Can we meet tomorrow? Yes.
Leo tumesikia naibu rais akizungumza kuhusu kutokea usawa katika vyombo vya habari baadhi yazo. Je, ni jambo ambalo unaweza nilizungumzia kama tume?
Usawa kwa vyombo vya habari. Nafikiri nyinyi watu ya media ndio mnaweza jibu hiyo swali. But as a commission, we are urging you to be fair to all the candidates. And I think we have a working arrangement with the Kenya Media Sector Working Group, who we have an MOU, and we shall keep on encouraging you to be fair to all the candidates. I think that's a responsibility we need to work together. I mean, you know what we mean. Let's be fair to everyone. Give them equal coverage. Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was IEBC Chairperson Wafula Chebukati, who has issued a statement on the report by the EACC, whereby at least 240 politicians have been listed, and Chebukati has shed light on the conditions of disqualification and qualification of aspirants to vie for the August 9 polls. At the same time, he has mentioned some of the aspirants who have been disqualified, including Anthony Mukala, Mike Mbovisonko, Karungo Wathangwa, among others. Well, we shall be bringing you more details in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we take a short break.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
From Japan to Philadelphia, the fire rises.
Oh, come on! Contra from behind, preventing Los Parks from enjoying this.
Let's go.
Contra in control. Los Parks.
I mean, you ring with David Boy Smith Jr. and the rest is history.
You competed with that injured shoulder. The shoulder was popped out of the socket. Oh, certainly, made the finals, but
LA Park. Eagle de LA Park. Tonight, Contra.
Nanyuki, are you ready? Saturday Night Show SNS coming your way live from AJ's The Ranch in Nanyuki this coming Saturday, 4th of June 2022 from 4 p.m. up till late. Country meets the 80s and 90s. Munajibamba, nyama choma, great music by DJ Stano, the Wheels of Steel, na pia mimi John Karani, JK, live on location with Saturday Night Show. We gonna make it a night to remember. Kosa Uche.
Welcome back. Deputy President William Ruto is the latest presidential aspirant to be cleared by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to vie in the August 9 polls. Now, Ruto, who received his clearance certificate from IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati, pledged to sustain his vision to improve the country's economy and invest in projects that will create job opportunities. If he is elected president, the United Democratic Alliance flag bearer, who presented his credentials to the IEBC panel at Bomas of Kenya on Saturday morning, also used the opportunity to call for fairness in the coverage of the 2022 general election. He was accompanied by a section of his allies in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, who included his running mate Rigathi Gachagua. The team is conducting a series of rallies at different constituencies in Nairobi, culminating with a major rally at Kamkunji grounds later in the day.
As Kenya Kwanza, we are going into this election with a lot of clarity, and we will work with all Kenyans. And I want to ask the people of Kenya to participate in this election. Whichever side you are, know that this is our country. It is our responsibility to keep it safe, to keep it peaceful, all of us, irrespective of who you want to vote for or irrespective of which side you belong. I want to ask all our supporters across the country that this is a moment of our lifetime, and we must do everything to protect it from violence, from unnecessary sideshows. We must keep our eyes on the ball and avoid unnecessary engagements and being sidetracked.
In other news, 4 people have been arrested in Garissa County's Windsor area for smuggling of bang worth 413,000 shillings. The 2 men and 2 women were arrested during a sting operation led by police in the area after a tip-off from the public.
Police in Garissa town arrested 4 people on Friday night in connection with the smuggling of bang worth over 400,000 shillings. Garissa County Commissioner Boaz Cherutich said the 4 who were found with 676 sachets, 187 rolls and 1 stone of cannabis sativa will be arraigned in court on Monday.
Katika hii operesheni tuliweza kuwanasa ama kuwashika watu 4 ambao wako ndani ya cell. Ni wanaume 2 pamoja na wakina mama 2. Hao watafikishwa mbele ya kotini.
Cherutich also thanked the public for tipping off the police and promised to work together with locals and other government agencies to rig out drug cartels in the area.
Kwa wale ambao wanaendelea na hii biashara, kwamba tutapambana na hawa na kuna cartel ambayo imebaki, ile wale ambao wanaendelea na kusambaza na kuuza hii, na hivi karibuni watapatikana.
The narcotics, which are said to have been smuggled from Ethiopia, were wrapped in plastic bags and sachets intended for sale locally. For Lunchtime News, I'm Cherutich Kiprano.
Kevin Kamere, a resident of Jawadho village in Nakuru, did not know that bondage, not freedom, awaited him. Had the then 19-year-old university student known that the first sip of liquor he took in 2020 as a cheeky activity with friends would spiral out of control and thrust him into a long drawn-out battle with alcoholism, he might have reconsidered his actions. Here is his story.
What had started as fun times activity in campus when older boys invited him to a party with free-flowing alcohol became something that went far beyond for Kevin Kamere.
Addiction is a disease. Inakuanga imejificha tu, huwezi jua. Kila kitu hivyo ina manifest. Hata mimi yangu ilianza tu kama mzaha tu. Pole pole, najipata sasa nimepotea kabisa. Nakosana na wazazi. Maisha ikaanza kuwa ngumu. nikakuwa rafiki wa pombe.
Then began a 3-year struggle for sobriety for the information communication technology student as he gradually developed a powerful desire for stronger drinks, leading to problems in his relationships with family, lecturers and fellow students.
Na mimi nilikuwa najua rehabilitation ya watu wenda wazimu. Sasa nashindwa nafanya nini huku na mimi si mwenda wazimu. Nimeokoka. Before nilikuwa mdawa tu dawa. Sasa kwa naona umuhimu wa kuokoka. Though nilikuwa naenda kanisa ile kubahatisha hata niende leo. Hivyo. Na nikitoka kanisa naenda nafanya shughuli za madawa.
Cameron's father, Pastor Mbogo, says rehabilitation of alcoholics should be embraced and facilities established in all counties.
Wakati nilikuja hapa, mimi niliangalia nikajikosa kuwa mchungaji, nikajiona sasa mtoto wangu anapotea. Haleluya. Maana pale nje watu wengi wanasuia kuona aibu, kutajwa pasta yule wa kijana yule ambaye anakunywa pombe. Haleluya. Lakini mimi nilikosa hiyo yote, nikaona mtoto yangu maana nilimzaa awe kitu kizuri katika dunia.
Marcos Mutai, a sociologist and counselor at Beyond Love Rehabilitation Center, advises those slipping into alcoholism to keenly assess their mental health.
Safari ni ngumu na inahitaji kujitolea. Inasemanga ni safari ya inataka combined forces. Wewe mwenyewe unaanza kuamua, ukijitolea, alafu pia ukikuja tunaweza kusaidiana.
Esther Bodo, Lunchtime News.
In other news, farmers in Makueni County have received training to enhance their agribusiness skills. The training, which was conducted by the East African Grain Council in collaboration with the county government of Makueni, elucidated modern methods of grain production and storage in addition to selling international markets.
Farmers in Makueni County say they are now better informed to handle the changing weather patterns thanks to the training offered by various stakeholders during the agricultural show. The farmers were offered training on how to utilize modern technology to get ahead of climate change on top of other emerging technologies in agribusinesses such as solar dryers and hermetic storage bags.
Tumeshukuru sana AGC kwa siku ya leo, maana wakulima wamesoma vitu nyingi na wameweza hata kusaidia kujieleza mambo za vifaa, kuhifadhi chakula, kuweka solar na teknolojia zingine nyingi za kuweza kusaidia nchi yetu na mazingira yetu, na tumesema ni asante.
The show, which focused on grain production, urged farmers to adopt drought-resistant variants, modern equipment and pesticides to counter pests that drive in arid areas.
Ukitumia solar uko sawa, chakula yako inakauka haraka, iko na zip, unaifunga haraka unairudisha ndani, isinyeshewe ama kama ni usiku au usumbuki kushinda ukirudisha chakula yako ndani.
Farmers also received education on the process of selling to international markets. They also had a chance to showcase their products, which were not limited to agricultural produce, to prospective buyers. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Samuel Kario.
Meanwhile, traders and residents of Gatundu North have welcomed the completion of a road project in the area, which they say will facilitate the movement of goods in and out of the region. The 15-kilometer road has been upgraded at a cost of 777 million shillings. According to the residents, the upgrade of the road has improved the value of land in the region, and there are prospects for jobs for the youth. Now, they added the project will stimulate the local economy by allowing quick transportation of commodities.
The road actually from Daruo via Bob Harris to Mangu. Right now, we can be able to access our school. So this road has helped us, and we can really appreciate the government for helping us on that side, because right now we can be able to access our school comfortably.
Venye ilikuwa mbaya, ilikuwa tunaenda polepole sana. Hiyo ilikuwa inabidi natumia low gear juu barabara vile ilikuwa inakaa mashimo hivi. Na milima. But saa hii nikitumia high gear naenda haraka. So natumia ina economize mafuta yangu sana.
Mtu akifika Darugo kama mimi, sisi wa mama, mtu anasikia kama mgongo ni mgojo. Na siku hizi tunaenda vizuri sana. Tunafika huko hatusikii kitu kama vile tulikuwa tunasikia.
And across borders, thousands of people have gathered in cities and towns in Britain to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen who ascended to the throne in 1952 at the age of 25 while on a trip in Kenya, becomes the first monarch to serve for 70 years.
The streets of London are filled with pomp and colour as thousands of people gather this weekend to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen, who is 96 years old, marked 70 years on the throne in February this year, making her the first monarch to achieve the milestone. The celebrations, which included a Thanksgiving ceremony at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, saw the Queen lauded for staying her course in her service to the people. The celebrations began on Thursday with the lighting of beacons across the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth nations, and will also include parties and a pageant in London. The Platinum Jubilee celebration is set to culminate in a big Jubilee lunch on Sunday, with 10 million people expected to take part in street parties and celebrations across Britain. The Queen has had to follow some of the events to mark the celebrations on TV due to mobility challenges. For Lunchtime News, I'm Jacky Kiprano.
Now, Kenya Commercial Bank has injected 100 million shillings towards the 2022 WRC Safari Rally scheduled to take place from June 23rd to 26th in Nakuru County. Meanwhile, the bank will sponsor two young Kenyan drivers, Evans KBC and Nikhil Sachania.
Speaking while unveiling the two drivers, Evans KBC and Nikhil Sachania, KCB Group Chief Executive Officer Paul Russo said the bank is keen on further deepening its contribution towards sports in the East African region to support communities and build a critical mass of sporting talents.
As we look up to the upcoming event, I'm glad to know that this year's circuit is particularly intriguing. There's been a lot of extensive work by FIA in partnership with manufacturers, Hyundai, Ford and Toyota, to just make sure that we not only have spectacular performance, but that also that safety and sustainability, particularly on the environment.
We continue to grow motorsports in a very structured way, and I'm sure in the next 3 years, Kenya will continue to be a powerhouse in motorsports, not only in Africa, but in the world.
The World Rally Championship returned to Kenya in 2020 after a 2-decade break. In the 2021 edition, the WRC Safari attracted 53 entries, out of which 34 of them were local Kenyan drivers. This year, the 5th edition of the WRC Safari is also expected to have over 50 local and international drivers. The 4-day World Showpiece event will be held in the lakeside town of Naivasha.
Now, world Indo 1500-meter bronze medalist Abel Kipsang says he is targeting a gold medal at the World Athletics Championship slated for 15th to 24th July in Oregon, USA. Meanwhile, Kipsang will be the only Kenyan in the 1500-meter race in Rabat, Morocco, the 4th stop of the Diamond League, which will be held Sunday at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Sports Complex.
Kipsang, who is in a blistering form this year, opened his season by clinching the Kipkeino Classic Continental title in May and following up with back-to-back wins at the Doha and Birmingham Diamond League. The 25-year-old outsprinted the reigning champion team of the Chariot in the last lap of 1500-meter in the Diamond League season opener in Doha, Qatar last month. Meanwhile, Kipsang will be the only Kenyan in 1500 meters raced in Rabat, Morocco for the 4th stop of the Diamond League, which will be held on Sunday at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Sports Complex. For Sports News, I'm Kingori Mwangi.
Substitute Andreas Cornelius scored a brace as Denmark came from behind to beat holders France 2-1 in the Nations League at the Stade de France last night. Meanwhile, Netherlands began their Nations League campaign with a dominant 4-1 win over Belgium, who also lost Romelu Lukaku to injury.
Karim Benzema opened the scoring for France while Cornelius scored 2 goals for Denmark, the first time the former Cardiff striker has scored twice in an international game. On a bad night for the defending champions, France lost to Paris Saint-Germain striker Kylian Mbappe and Manchester United defender Raphael Varane to injury. Meanwhile, Memphis Depay was the Dutch star, scoring 2 superbly taken close-range goals while Tottenham Steven Bergwijn and Denzel Dumfries scored a goal each for Netherlands. Michy Batshuayi headed a consolation for Belgium in added time. The victory extends Dutch manager Louis van Gaal's unbeaten start to his second spell as Dutch boss for 10 matches. Elsewhere, Austria began their campaign with an impressive Nations League 3-0 win with Croatia, while Slovakia defeated Belarus 1-0. For Sports News, I'm Dion Mogire.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for choosing Lunchtime News. For more news, check out our website at kbc.co.ke. My name is Jacky Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Let me not come back and find you filled my house with refugees.
Ama ndio maana hujaolewa.
I beg your pardon?
Wekuja kuna Jen.
Kamtafute kwa Christine.
Nenda kuna mzee.
Then do what's right by him. Or at least help him help himself.
Naweza kuona pakano kidogo. I have to see Baba Jen.
Huko utaweza kusaidia huyu?
Hey!
Unataka nikulani?
Wacha niende, hiyo laana ibilisi nipate. Kuna ka interview naenda.
Basi ameelewa vibaya.
Yeye huwa sikizi.
Hata kama ni kibarua napata, si kazi ya maana. Ati gari na nyumba. Unataka tushindane, si ndio?
Wewe unakuwaga unafurahi sana ukiniona niko hido.
Nyuki, are you ready? Saturday night show SNS coming your way live from AJ's The Ranch Nanyuki this coming Saturday, 4th of June 2022 from 4 p.m. up till late. Country meets the 80s and 90s. Mutajibamba, Nyama Choma, great music by DJ Stano on the Wheels of Steel. Na pia mimi John Karani, JK, live on location with Saturday Night Show. We gonna make it a night to remember. Kosa Uche.
Top sports attractions on KBC Channel 1. In July, Kenya Morans face off against the DRC, Egypt and Senegal in the FIBA Basketball World Cup African qualifiers in Alexandria, Egypt from 1st to 3rd of July 2022. Also in July, Kenya plays South Africa in Rugby League test matches in Nairobi with the return fixtures set for October. Still in July, watch the World Athletic Championships from 15th to 24th July live from Oregon, USA as Kenyan athletes seek glory. followed by the 22nd Commonwealth Games from 28th July to 8th August, live from Birmingham, England. In August, join our coverage of the World Athletics Under-20 Championships from the 1st to 6th of August 2022 from Cali, Colombia. Then, in November, catch the World Half Marathon Championships on 13th November from Yangzhou, China. Now that's what sets us apart as KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
From Japan to Philadelphia, the fire rises.
Oh, come on! Contra from behind! Preventing Los Parks from enjoying this. Yeah, let's go. Contra in control. Los Parks.
Sharing the ring with David Boy Smith Jr. in the rest is history.
You competed with that injured shoulder. The shoulder was popped out of the socket. Oh, certainly, made the finals, but
LA Park. Eagle de LA Park.